guys. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. I know I don't post enough about my losing trades, and so I want to do that today. Not because just for the sake of filling the void in content, but more so because, when losses happen because of a plan that just went as planned, but obviously the trade didn't work out. I don't really talk about that too much because in the end of the day, for those who know me, who those who are being coached by me as well, know that losses are part of the game. I've also posted some videos in the past about where a winning day can still have losing trades. Really just comes down to how many losing trades that it makes up, right? But in this case, I really wanted to talk about this because this trade specifically was one that I can see in the past me would have been very tilt induced by it. And so I'm going to go into the trade, the details, and talk a little bit about the charts over the course of this Asia session. So what you see here right now, I'll just kind of go over a little bit just for those who have not been following me or maybe new. What you're looking at right now is the NQ chart, and all of the lines that you're seeing right now is actually the futures forecaster indicator tool. I have been trialing and using this for almost half a year now, actually. Anyways, I'm going to go into this and provide some narrative and conversation. I posted this trade also in the Discord, speaking to when I entered, what I've been watching, what I was monitoring the entire time, and why I took it. And it just unfortunately didn't work out for me. But I'm going to go into it. So first and foremost, you can kind of see that coming out of the New York session, which was up here, we had quite a bit of a meltdown coming through. And when we opened up overnight here, and so you'll see that this here, I don't know how it's showing on your end based on the video, but this is showing overnight open, which essentially categorizes as the Globex opening print, which is 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The FF indicator provides all of the visuals that you're seeing right now, which is, I think that's been a due part to a lot of conversations that the founder, Scott, and myself have been having over the past half year to help continue to evolve the tool better and to help with traders usage easier as well, right? So I talked about, the triple bottom here first and foremost. This actually posed as a good long opportunity. I don't know if I would have rode this move all the way up here, to be perfectly honest. I would have just kind of scalped it sooner than this, more so just because of the fact that on the overall daily bias, or not daily bias, or overall larger time frame, when I look at the few different things, whether it's the hourly, 4 hourly, I had a bear bias, a bias to the day already. So, what we kind of saw a lot though was we were actually holding below this area quite a bit. And so although I don't have it marked here right now, what we essentially were holding below here, if I were to, let's say, highlight this point right here, um, that point, let me change the color so it's actually easier to differentiate. Maybe a white line. Yeah, let's do that. That was the Globex opening print from the day prior. And so it posed as a point of interest for me because of the fact that when we opened up the overnight session, um, we also saw that we were kind of resisting here and rejecting here. And so that became a point of interest for me. And you can see that throughout the Asia session, we actually found rejection points on there multiple times. Okay. And a lot of the comments that I made was we were in ranging action, whether you were going to go long or short. I mean, honestly, you probably could have scalped both ends of it. And I know that ranging action often tilts people. If you don't have the right entry, you're basically getting messed around back and forth the entire time, right? So I understand how difficult that can be. Now, I'm going to go right into the trade that I entered in, and I'm going to talk about on multiple time frames and then go over the emotions around this. So I entered right over here. Now, why did I enter over here? For multiple reasons, whether we're talking about market structure, technical analysis, or even using this futures forecaster indicator as the additional conviction. At the time, as we were coming back here, we were closing below the trigger line, which is essentially this line. If you can follow my cursor here, that's the trigger line. And if we were to looking at both this time frame and the 5 minute time frame, we were constantly kind of holding below the major trend line. So even though, yes, we were going up and down, the major trend line is what we were kind of hovering below. So at the point of entry, this is where our candles close with bearish sentiment beneath the major trend line and beneath the trigger line. And so from here on out, that was the additional conviction that I needed on top of the already multi-time frame analysis that I had looking for the downside on the trade. Now, when I entered the trade, we think we're looking pretty good here, to be honest. And of course, we could have risked that we could have bounced here as a double bottom off of prior resistance. But again, my stop loss would have been able to hold me through because my stop loss was a 15-point stop loss with a 30-point profit target. And as you can kind of see here, the reason why I set my stop loss where it was above the overnight print, obviously, but it was also above the old Globex opening print and the resistance spots that I was talking about. So at the very least, even if we were to wick above, I'd still stay within the trade. And so for those who follow me knows that I always talk a lot about risk, is that I don't take the trade simply because of the reward that's on the table, but more importantly is that is there enough risk and drawdown for me to enter this trade based on the way that I trade with my system. And so honestly, this freakish candle that came in, I think the news came up afterwards around that they came out afterwards that kind of justified it, but this essentially took me out, right? This candle right here absolutely just took me out. It whipped right up within 2 minutes and came right back down. And notice that it did, when we talked about the pivot, it held right below that area of interest spot that I had again, right? Um, Now, more importantly, at this stage, the old me would have been so tilted. I would have either, after getting stopped out, I would have either flipped longs or I would maybe try shorting again. And flipping longs definitely would have wrecked me, thinking that that would have given me what I was looking for. Now, going short would have helped me, but there's a reason why I didn't go back into the trade again. In the past, historically, if I were to have done this, I have blown more accounts chasing trades immediately after a close of another position more than anything else. And in this craft that we're learning about trading, it is about the long-term sustaining relevance of your system. There may be days that are huge and there may be days that are ranging or whatever that may be. But personally, my opinion, when it comes to trading, the system does need to be able to be sustainable throughout all cycles of the market. And I'm not saying that that's always going to be a static thing. There might be different changes. I mean, I've been trading for 4 years myself, so there may be up traders who've been trading for much longer than me that says, "Hey, Alan, that's maybe not the right advice, right? But it's worked for me thus far, right?" I didn't chase for exactly that reason. And watching this trade actually end up working out, as you can see, it did hit my 30 point and then it kind of worked back up, but nevertheless, it went well below that. Um, it can be very tilt inducing to watch a trade work out in your favor after you're wicked out. And in this case, wicked out by a news candle. So it's very tough to digest, but it's part of the game and it's so important. I share this loss because it happens to all of us, but I'd rather take one L today on this trade on one account and then reassess and then reset on another trade with another account in the future and trade that with the trust of my system versus being tilted because I blew too many accounts over one trade. And I can't emphasize that enough, right? I do also want to kind of share quickly here on the 5 minute time frame, just to that note, as we were working our way back up, we were holding a trend line here. And so if you actually take a look at where I entered here, which is about right here, it was on top of the fact that we were looking at market structure and all those other things, right? We also broke below the trend line. And if you notice that afterwards, the major trend line, the trigger line, as well as that trend line up here, when we broke below it, we held below it. Even when we pulled back down and pulled back up, we retested the trigger line and we continued further downwards. And so as you can see, the market's still kind of pushing down further downwards right now. On the 5 minute time frame, that was also a valid reason as to why this trade made sense. And then if I were to zoom out again, and I'll just pull the side here just so that it's easier for you guys to look at, on the 15-minute time frame, we wicked just towards the trigger line and we came right back down. And so on multiple fronts, right, on to the 2, the 5, and the 15, which are the time frames that I execute my trades upon the most, you can see already that everything about the FF indicator is giving us a short bias, including all of these cells here, which basically provides you a color code on the trend cloud, major trend, MACD, RSI, all those different things that you as a trader might reference, right? So this is actually why I really enjoy using and why I've enjoyed using the FF indicator for the past 6 months, running in conjunction with my system already, is because when my system is giving me everything I need for a checkbox execution, this FF indicator essentially gives me additional conviction in the very case that there might be volatility in the market or uncertainty. This definitely assists and helps us, right? So as you can see, it's continuing to go further down. Uh, old me would have just been like finding a reason to hop in a trade right now. But honestly, I'm good. I'm content with the night. It is what it is. We lose. It's part of the game. I'll reset and I'll be prepared for the next trade next time, right? So, anyways, I just wanted to share that because I thought that was really important to share. Just personal opinion. Losses come and go, but this one was one that I know historically would have been tilt-inducing. So I felt to share it because I'm sure there are many of us out there that are going through that every single day today, regardless of your years of experience. So, anyways, I hope that helps. If it's your first time following, please drop a subscribe and like. It helps me a lot as I'm trying to build my presence as a trader. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer those questions to the best of my ability as well. Anyways, until next time, thanks, guys.